Leave it. Good morning, everybody. It is hump day. Yeah, Wednesday. And also National Waffle Day. We're out for the morning stroll. As you saw, Tootsie was losing her mind over another dog. She wants to play so bad. Yeah, she loves dogs. She loves cats. She loves birds. Well, I don't know about birds. Or snakes. I got a full day of trial to talk about with you guys. Stay tuned. Good morning, everybody. Crafting Journey here. That journey took over on Instagram and on my new channel, The Leftovers. I have something to celebrate today. I have reached, in just 3 short weeks, 100 subscribers on The Leftover channel. If you haven't checked it out, please, and this is probably why I have 100 subscribers, and I thank you guys so much for your support. Check out that channel, even if it's not your thing. If you could head over there, just hit the boop button, the like, and subscribe. And you've helped me out. Launch the channel. I think YouTube is noticing. I'm getting a lot of people that are looking at it through the browse features. So I am feeling awesome. Because that's part of my being fun employed is my new channel. It's going to go along with my new reselling business. And who's counting the days? But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Yay! Woohoo! So the like button wanted me to tell you that he also wants to be fun employed, and I'm like, no, you work for me. You have to do, you have to be part of the channel. So please hit the like button. He's not enjoying the abuse these days, but hit the like button. Please consider subscribing. If you're already a subscriber, you can support the channel by becoming a member or hitting that one-time thanks button, making a one-time donation that goes to support the content of the channel. And I don't mention it often enough, but I have some wonderful Patreons out there. I do have a Patreon, and I have some magnificent Patreons. Thank you guys so much. I don't talk about you enough, but you guys are really supportive of the channel, and I appreciate it. And most importantly, you know what's coming, the notification bell. You want to make sure you hit all so you don't miss a single episode. And I realize now that a lot of you are catching up on this on the weekends, and that's okay. You'll know what I did on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. So, got my painting here. It's progressing very nicely. I finished this top corner. Look how pretty the blue. Let me turn the light pad off so you can see. Tootsie is barking. Okay, the blues and this tree and the sky and these sheep in the background here. I think I could just cut the painting right here and just call it a day. I know, that's cheating. All right, we're not going to cheat. We're going to do the rest of the painting by the end of September. But tonight, I am doing a live. Every Wednesday night, I do Craft With Me Wednesday, in which... What is she barking at? Maybe she's... As soon as I start talking, she starts barking. Maybe she's barking at the delivery man. I'm supposed to get my GoPro camera today. I invested in a GoPro camera to support the Leftover channel. It's got this strap that goes with it, and I'm going to wear it right here when I go to the yard sales. So I have both hands free to show you guys what I'm looking at and talk to you guys on camera. So let me turn the light pad back on so I can diamond paint. So tonight at 6 p.m. Central, I will be doing Craft With Me Wednesday. I have not decided on a craft. I think maybe crochet or knitting. I haven't done either one in a while. I want to see how it feels on the elbow. I want to see afterwards if my elbow is still bothering me. It feels okay every now and then. I get a little twinge, so maybe whatever it is has healed, and I can go on with my crafting. Yeah, so that's what you'll see tonight. But just, if that's not what your thing, just come on over and chit chat with us. It's a fun night with the friends. Yeah, all my rowdy friends. What's it? I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. This is one's for you, Berta, and I'll be okay. Yep. Find something to celebrate each day. Today I'm celebrating 100 subscribers on the Leftover channel. Yep. And I got one new subscriber on this channel. Yay! Oh goodness. Yeah, it's slow going on this channel, but whatever. I know I have a lot of loyal people that watch the Crafting and Crime each day. So, where's the pen I'm looking for? So yesterday at work, I get a calendar invite from my boss. She wants me to have an exit interview with her. So I'm wavering. I'm seeing the invite, and the choices when you get a calendar invite, for those of you that don't know, is you can say yes, you can say no, or you can say, suggest another time, date and time. So I looked at it, and I finally, I've got the mouse there, and finally I clicked no. So I get an email back from her. Maybe you could, she's trying to be super nice. Is there another time that's better for you? Can you suggest a good time? So I wrote her back and I said, I do not see any value in having an exit interview. I am represented by an attorney and I don't wish to discuss my exit with you. So I get another email back saying, maybe I didn't make myself clear. This is just a checklist. So I figure she is not going to give this up. So I said, okay, I will meet with you and you can go over your checklist, but I am not discussing my exit with you. And that was the end. Now, she did change it on the calendar instead of next week to Friday. And if she wants to dismiss me on Friday, oh yeah. Hey honey, I don't know why I'm coming in Monday and Tuesday next week anyway. Yeah. Go ahead and dismiss me. Yes. And I do have till Friday to sign the severance document. They did give me an extension, for the attorneys are still negotiating, which kind of has me on pins and needles, but I'm trying to concentrate on the joy and not the negative, because man, I can wallow in the negative all day long. I can. I'm good at it. Lots of practice, but I got to stop. So what I have started doing the last couple of days, because it's definitely cooling off, like the triple digit weather, knock on wood, I think is over. Yeah, according to the weatherman Rebecca, no more triple digit weather. So yesterday when I got up, oh my God, it was so cool outside. So what I'm doing is I'm starting, in addition to the morning walk, I'm doing an evening walk as well after dinner. I think it's good for the dogs. I think it's good for me. Stitch, he just loves it. He don't care. He's like, oh, another walk. Yay. But I'm so glad he's scared of cars, but he thinks he's protected by being under my sister's vehicle. It's so funny. So he'll hide under there until the coast is clear, and then he'll run to catch up with us. I really want to do some watercolor painting, but I keep doing that every Wednesday, and I know you guys are tired of that. You know what? I'm going to put up a community poll today. So check out my community page. What do you want to see me to do What do you want to see me do tonight? Crochet, knit, watercolor, or something else? Make a suggestion. What would you like to see me do? And for the love of God, do not say rock painting. I do. Rock painting is off the table. I did that once a few years ago. Never again. I glued my fingers together. Long story short. Yeah. Oh, that was my stomach. Wow. So let's talk about crafting and crime daily. So we're going to start out with we're going to start the day out by talking about the Nicholas Cruz death penalty phase of the trial. I watched one witness, and the day before we went preschool. Then this particular day, they started out with another teacher where he was about 2 or 3 years old, up till he was about 5 or 6 years old. And it's the same testimony. He was difficult. He had speech problems. He had problems getting along with other children. She even thought he might have a hearing problem. I don't know if that panned out. She said he had trouble with social interaction. We're talking about a 2 or 3-year-old had trouble with social interaction. He would not make eye contact with you when you talked to him. He was uncoordinated, no coordination. So she actually referred him for a developmental delay assessment, and he was receiving, as a result of that, some speech therapy at home. Then the rest of the day was teachers. I think they went through every age group, and I was like, I'm done. I'm going over to the other trial because enough woe is me. We know, okay, you are a damaged individual. We get it, and I don't mean to be uncaring. I'm not uncaring, but you killed 17 people and injured 17 more people, 34 people. 17 people that have to live with what you did with them, and 17 families that have to grieve over the loved ones. They don't care if you're damaged or not. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'll go either way. Death penalty, life in prison, it doesn't matter to me. As long as he's not out on the streets with his AR-15, I'm good. But I kind of expect that, given what we know about him, he's not going to do well in prison. He's going to be somebody's wife. Let's just put it that way. So I will tune into that trial today and see what's going on so I can update you guys. Now, we are expecting his brother Zachary to testify. So the one that's in the reality show, about being a school shooter's brother. I don't know if that's what it's about, but yeah, interesting. And I love reality shows. I do. So I'll probably check it out. So let's talk about the staged suicide case. So prosecution is wrapping up their case. So they spent the day focusing on the autopsy. So we first hear from a police investigator. Well, a forensic investigator, I think that's what he called himself. He was a former police officer that went to work in this county full-time for the coroner's office. They have a part-time coroner who's a physician in the community. He is not a forensic pathologist. They just have this one guy, and he goes out and he investigates deaths. And if he feels like it warrants an autopsy, then he has the body sent to the next county over, which is Montgomery County, and they will do an autopsy. So in this case, he gets called when Emily's body is found. He gets called to the scene. He describes that she is in this kind of kneeling, sitting position with the cord still hanging around her neck. So what they do is he stands behind the body with supporting her shoulders. And it's a very, very decomposed body. One witness described it as mummified. So the bones were all there, some skin. So he's supporting. First they put the body bag underneath of her, and he did at one point say that she had sneakers on. So they put the body bag underneath of her, and then he supports the shoulders. However he did it, and while another officer who's in front of the body cuts the cord that's around her neck, and then he lowers her into the body bag. And then he has a mortuary company come and get the body and store the body until they decide what they're going to do with it. So they end up sending it to Montgomery County for an autopsy. Now, we don't hear from anybody from Montgomery County or what the autopsy report showed. Because the body is then sent to Ohio State University to be examined by a forensic anthropologist. And the whole time I'm listening to this woman's curriculum vitae, her resume, I'm thinking, how did she decide to get into this field where you're just examining bones all day long? And she does consultations for the FBI, the CIA, the Department of Homeland Security. They call her to examine bones. So she gets this body that is mummified. She's the one that used the term mummified. And in order for her to examine the bones, all right, let me just time out here. There's not much that bothers me, but this, I literally gagged when she was talking about it. So if you need to fast forward through this part, I'm going to go through it as quickly as I can, and as succinctly as I can. She had to make sure that the skin was removed from the body, and then she describes how she does it. So fast forward, skin's removed from the body. She's got just the bones left. So we see a picture of just bones, and it looks like she's got most of them there, except for the toes. There's no fingers, there's no toes. And we know later on that the first witness of the day, the forensic investigator, he goes back to the scene at another time, a later date, and the bones are there. He finds digits and molars and teeth and bones. Incredibly, this body, for however long that it was there, she disappeared in May. Emily went missing late May 25th, her birthday, or the day after her birthday, and she's not discovered until September. And in between, there are cadaver dog searches. They don't hit on a body that's hanging, or they don't pick up the scent of a dead body. So I am so curious, if they think this guy staged this suicide, when did he do it? Where was her body the rest of this time? And nobody could definitively say how long it would have taken her to get into the condition that she was in, because it depends on a lot of factors: the weather, the amount of heat, the amount of rain, animals that may have disturbed the bones. But remarkably enough, she said there was little to no disturbance by wildlife of these bones. No hawks. Have you ever seen how, if there's like a dead rodent in the street, or I know I'm being gross today, but you know what I mean. Like somebody hits a squirrel or something, and these hawks come flying. They come. I used to see it in Florida. I'm like, oh, the hawks are out. Yeah, because there would be a dead animal. None of that going on. And there's houses nearby, and they're not smelling anything. Nobody's, smelling this decomposed body. So this forensic anthropologist, young woman, very nice looking, very into what she does. She examines the bones. She finds that there are the hyoid bone, which is up in here, fractured on both sides. And then the tip of the thyroid cartilage, which is also a little further back, fractured. And then there was a nasal fracture. And she said that they were all, she distinguished 3 different time frames of injury. Antemortem, which means it happened before the death. And she did find fractured ribs, but they could have been fractured at any point during her life. Not necessarily at or near the time of her death. And then there was perimortem, which means at or near the time of death, an injury that occurred. And then there's postmortem, which means, the critters came after you're already dead. The critters come. So she said that the fractures, even the nasal bone, was perimortem, meaning all of these fractures occurred at or near the time of her death. Okay, now here comes Diane Menashe on cross-examination. I don't usually get caught up watching cross-examinations because I don't find them to be helpful at all. Usually the defense attorney is just kind of parroting what the person already testified to on direct. But Diane Menashe, man, she is good. She is good. She pointed out so many inconsistencies in this woman's report, including the fact that it wasn't authored by her. It was authored by one of her students. So she said, well, did you do the work? Were you just supervising her work? She's like, no, it was a collaboration. And so she said, how many cases have you testified in where there were these types of fractures? Oh, lots. Well, how many? She goes, I don't recall. Well, can you tell me about the most recent case? I don't recall. Yeah. Her credibility just went down the toilet. So, and that was the purpose. Diane was just trying to, discredit the woman by first saying she didn't do the work, and then the work she did, there was a lot of inconsistencies. But the most important piece that she got out of her was that the period of perimortem injury could happen over weeks. She could have hung herself, and then within 2-3 weeks, the nose injury occurs. Something occurs. So at or near the time of death is a period of weeks. So we don't know when these fractures occurred or how they occurred. So next comes the forensic, what was he calling himself? He was a police surgeon and a forensic clinical doctor. So like a forensic pathologist, except he works on live people. And he said that he was the first person ever to be board certified in this, and now it's a thing, but he was the first one. And it's an area of medicine now where you can come in and have live people forensically investigated if they were maybe a rape or an attempted strangulation or gunshots. He can come in and do what you would do at an autopsy, but he's doing it on a live person to determine the cause and manner of those injuries. So he was called in on this case because he is an expert on strangulation. He's holding himself as an expert. And he had a curriculum vitae that had to have been 40 pages double-sided long of all these articles and things that he had written on strangulation. So first, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Yeah. Here's this guy. What is with the comb over? Like, one strand of hair. Like, I couldn't get past it. I don't know what the jury thought, but he was a very engaging witness. You know, a lot of times witnesses will talk to the attorney that's asking them questions. The best practice for a witness is to turn in their chair and to listen to the question, then turn in their chair and answer the question and tell the jury the answer to the question and explain to the jury whatever it is you have to say. And he did that, and he was very engaging. Meanwhile, they're looking at the dang comb over. I'm like, hey, you know, and the jury gets to ask questions at the end. And I do want to tell you that they ask the forensic anthropologist, if she had sneakers on, how come you didn't find the bones, the foot bones? And she said, well, when she got to me, she didn't have sneakers on. So what happened to the foot bones? Are they still in the sneakers? You know, where's the foot bones? The other question that, the other issue that arose during that woman's testimony, and I'm sorry to backtrack, but was she had relied on information given to her by police investigators that they had sent the molars, that they had extracted her molars and sent them for DNA. And then later on at the scene, when that forensic investigator goes back to the scene of the hanging, he finds her molars there. So she was depending on information which turned out to be a lie. So there was a lot of discrediting going on by Diane Menashe. So then we go back to the forensic pathologist, or the forensic clinical doctor that he's calling himself. And he said, he described, he had like a little neck model, and he described anatomically where everything was, where the hyoid bones were, where the horns of the thyroid cartilage were, and they were fractured on both sides, and then the nasal bone. And he said, I have never seen in a hanging where these fractures happen bilaterally. It's just nowhere in the literature. It just does not happen that way. The only way that could happen is through manual strangulation, where someone is putting their hands on both sides and applying pressure. And he said it wouldn't take more than 10 pounds of pressure to fracture those bones. And the typical male, when he does a handshake, can assert 90 pounds of pressure. So it can be done, and it can be done within 60 seconds. He says within the first 8 seconds, you're going to pass out, and within 60 seconds, you're going to be dead. And they actually had him start the timer, and we all just sat there for 60 seconds. Yeah, I'm not going to wait for 60 seconds. Too much to say. Back to the comb over. It was the worst. It really was. And so the point that I left this testimony was the prosecution had finished up. Diane Menashe was starting her cross-examination. Now, I have not seen that, and I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see the way she shreds this guy, because she will shred him to pieces. She is that good. And what she's doing is she is creating reasonable doubt. And the jury's going to go back to deliberate, and they're going to be like, I don't know what happened to this lady. And at this point, I'm like, I don't know. When did she hang herself? Was she hanging there all those months and cadaver dogs couldn't find her and people couldn't smell her? Or was she holed up somewhere and then hung? I don't get it. And nobody could give a time frame. No one could give a time frame for how long she had been hanging there. Yes. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And they did start another new trial, but I'm like, oh no, can't do 3 trials. No. Yeah, 2 trials is plenty for now. Yeah. Even when I start my fun employment, 2 trials. That's it. That's all you're going to get. Don't forget to go to my community page and vote on what you want to see tonight. And I know a lot of my regulars that will vote. You know, if you're watching this after Wednesday, don't worry about it. If you vote, you can vote if you want, but Wednesday will have already happened, and you can go back and watch and see which one I did. Yeah. What happened this day in history? So on this day in history, in 1981, a man by the name of Mark David Chapman was sentenced to 20 years to life for the murder of John Lennon. This man was obsessed with a book called Catcher in the Rye. He also was obsessed with John Lennon, and he hung out at John Lennon's apartment. It was called the Tribute. He hung out across the street from this apartment all day long, watching John Lennon come and go. John Lennon gets out. There's pictures of him signing autographs. He gets into a limo, goes to a recording session. When he comes back, he's met by Mark David Chapman, who shoots and kills him. Shoots him 4 times and kills him. So he's sentenced to 20. Then he sits there, and he's sitting there reading Catcher in the Rye, waiting for the police to come and arrest him. At his trial, he reads a passage from Catcher in the Rye. Then gets sentenced to 20 years to life. To this day, that was in 1981. Now we're in 2022. To this day, all his attempts at parole have been denied, and he remains in jail. So his 20 years have well passed. It looks like it truly is going to be a life sentence for Mark David Chapman. So that is the show for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, I hear him. Don't forget to hit that like button. And subscribe. Don't forget to go check out The Leftovers. And I will see you guys tonight in Craft With Me Wednesday. Don't forget to go to the community page and vote on what you want me to do tonight. Yeah. What craft would you like to see? Not diamond painting. We're not going to do that. Crochet, knitting, coloring. I haven't done that in a while. There'll be some choices there. Watercolor. I want watercolor. I love my watercolor. I have been studying this new technique, and I need to order some inks, some watercolor inks to practice this technique, but I have to wait till payday. Okay, so I see you guys tomorrow in Crafting and Crime Daily.